Every year, Punjab Kings go to the auction. Every year they have this big purse. Every year they do something remarkable at the auctions. But the one thing that Punjab Kings have to break this year is this obsession with finishing sixth. The last few years they finished sixth. You look at their track record ever since the IPL started. 2008, they made the semi-final, first ever year of the IPL. And the final in 2014 under George Bailey, where they played such wonderful, bright cricket. But other than that, over all these seasons of the IPL, they have not made the playoffs. So what is it that is holding Punjab Kings back? And I think it's a lack of consistency. Players are coming, players are going. That's one thing I think they've addressed this year. Yes, they've let go of a few players. Odean Smith started off the season really well and then sort of tapered off. But the big change they've made is letting go of Mayank Agarwal. And I think that actually might end up being good for Mayank, freed of all the responsibilities, go and open the batting at SRH. But that meant that Punjab Kings had to find another captain. And if you look down that squad, who else could they have found as captain? And so they've gone to Shikhar Dhawan, one of the more likable people on the circuit. Every time you think, is Shikhar Dhawan coming to the end? He says, excuse me, I've got another story for you. But this might be a tough, big year for Shikhar Dhawan because his own form has not quite been the same. You look at what happened from 2019 to 2021, and that was when we were first starting to say how much of a T20 future does Shikhar Dhawan have, and he had 3 wonderful years. But just in the last couple of years, that average has fallen. Typically when the average falls, you try to play yourself in. The strike rate falls as well. So Shikhar Dhawan has got a big role to play for Punjab Kings this year, because not only as captain has he got to try and take them into the playoffs, but he's got to do that by leading from the front. The other reason it's so important for Shikhar is there isn't a big Indian playing base, especially big Indian top order playing base for the Punjab Kings. They'll be very buoyed by the form of Cricbuzz Singh in the Mushtaq Ali tournament. He had a lot of 50s, he scored at a strike rate of 140 thereabouts, but they want Cricbuzz Singh now to make that big move up onto a higher plane, on a bigger stage, playing for Punjab Kings. If he can do that, then that creates opportunities for them. They can have Bhanukar Rajapaksa bat at 3, give him the freedom to bat, because then that allows Liam Livingstone to bat at number 4, play in 2 gears, and then is a tremendous finisher. So they've got to get that Liam Livingstone to bat at 4, because if he can do that, if they can stabilize that top 4, they've got Jitesh Sharma, who I think is a very fine talent. It's a great story, Jitesh Sharma. That fact that he's blooming now, he's done very well in domestic cricket. He had a pretty good IPL last year. On the fringes, I mean, there's so many wicketkeeper batters, but they started looking at Jitesh Sharma, the national selectors. So he realizes he's onto something good over here. So Jitesh Sharma, now can Shah Rukh Khan do that? He's just been completely out of form. He has the power, but I think they'll start looking at options around there. So you could look at someone like a Raj Bawa up there, or maybe they can get their millionaire, their Karodpati to come in and bat at 6. If Sam Curran can play that role at 6, 7, then he's playing 2 roles. Bowling at the death, maybe swinging the ball at the start, and playing that sort of finisher role down at 6 or 7. I see them using Sikandar Raza a bit when they go on the road, because in terms of spin, they've got Rahul Chahar and they've got Harpreet Brar. They might need a third spinner. Liam Livingstone can play that role with his mix of off breaks and leg breaks, but Sikandar Raza in that finisher's role and giving them 3-4 overs of spin would come in very handy. Now, what about the bowling? Brar can bat a little bit. I think he's a decent enough left-arm spinner. They've got Arshdeep Singh and they've got Kagiso Rabada. Now that is their big strength in there, because Rabada can bowl really well at the top. Not always the best at the end, but they've got Arshdeep Singh to play that role at the end. Then in the middle overs, they've got the leg spin of Rahul Chahar. Rabada might miss the first game or 2 games. I think in Nathan Ellis, they've got a fantastic replacement for him. So they've got a really good overseas contingent. They've got lots of options to choose from. But if the Punjab Kings have to become a dangerous side, have to have hopes of making the playoffs, which they don't do too often, then that Indian contingent just has to do well for them. They need Shikhar and Prabh Simran at the top, people like Jitesh, Raj Bawa, the spinners Chahar and Brar and Arshdeep to have a really good season bowling at the death. If that can happen, then maybe they can threaten a spot in the playoffs. A lot depends on how that Indian contingent plays. Join us on Cricbuzz Live for all the fun and insights this year. If you're in the Middle East or North Africa, if you're in continental Europe or Latin America, do subscribe to Cricbuzz Plus to see the Tata IPL 2023 live.